So what will the overall market impact of the Green Deal be? It's still quite early to say, but I think we can already begin to see a number of themes emerging, and people are already beginning to take positions on this. So, for example, Birmingham and Manchester already launched procurements. Bristol setting up an ESCO. Some larger social landlords are saying, well, we're just going to walk away and not get involved at all. Other quite small ones are saying, well, we're going to become a provider. Where do you fit in that whole picture? Well, you're going to have to make your own mind up, but hopefully these briefings have helped you do that. I think the things I would say are, if it stays as it is, it's quite a complex beast, and the economics are only likely to work for very large organisations. That doesn't mean you can't do something in partnership with other people, possibly including a national brand. I think it's also worth making a fundamental point, which is if you look at the warranties and the obligations and the really quite onerous burdens that a Green Deal provider has to take on, they are things like being willing to be the first point of customer redress for a homeowner, maybe a vulnerable person in a social house, being prepared to have long-term warranties, etc. Social landlords and local authorities are naturally already doing that, and they're not quite so frightening. For those kind of obligations aren't quite so frightening for social landlords and local authorities. So it may be you are natural, strong players in this sphere, if only the processes can be simple enough for you. So it's not something just to turn your back on. But a fundamental thing to bear in mind is this isn't the only game in town, and it would be very unwise to put all your eggs in one basket and think in terms of solely, am I in the Green Deal or am I not in the Green Deal? For me, the obvious way forward is to look at the buildings, the requirements of those buildings between now and 2050, how much investment's going to need to be made in those buildings to keep them decent to live in, and with manageable energy bills. DEC are currently projecting, for example, that energy bills will rise between 52% and 70% by 2020, which is only 8 years away. So significant fuel poverty issues on the horizon. How are you going to handle all of those things? What are the options out there to help you? Green Deal is one of them, feed-in tariffs is another, renewable heat incentive is another, and various levies on new build are others. There are opportunities as well. It's very important not to see this area purely as one of a cost burden for existing or future bill payers. There are serious opportunities to supply energy more efficiently locally through district heating schemes, through more energy efficiency measures. The best people to make those kind of schemes happen are local people, and they won't ever get onto the agenda if you don't make them happen. So I'd like to see more local authorities, more social landlords standing up and proactively looking for positive opportunities for their communities in the energy field, and the Green Deal is part of that picture. In terms of timescale, the Green Deal is proposed to come into place from October 2012, so you've got time to get things right. I think in practice there will be a slow start given where we are today, so I think it will take time to get off the ground, and there's probably 6 months or more beyond that. I would be looking, if it were me in charge of a local authority or a social landlord looking at this kind of agenda, I'd be looking to have plans in place this year ready for implementation in my financial year beginning April 2013. But I would start now in terms of exploring what the right models are for me, what the investment potential is for me, what the revenue potential is for me, which can be, for a county council, we looked at the investment potential was over £1 billion on their buildings, realistic technical commercial investment potential with nearly £100 million of revenue a year coming from these kind of projects. So I'd be looking at those kind of calculations, those kind of assessments at a very high level now, and then I'd be moving into more detail in terms of the partners I was going to work with, the ones that work for me, over the next 6 months, and having detailed plans in place by the time my budget was in place for next year, maybe beginning of the autumn, that kind of time scale. At Encroft, we can help you on the technical side of that. We can help you on the overall scoping of what's there, and we can help you with the business models and the vehicles to make these kind of things happen. We are completely independent and impartial, and our interest is in local success. Thank you very much for listening.